What do you think in this climate, if you were to start all over, is a reasonable amount of your income to put towards housing costs if you're owning your home,
Oh, that's a really good question.
percentage wise?
Percentage wise.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, how about we start with what the bank thinks that
Yeah.
you're, and maybe you'll have a mortgage agent on here. So
Yeah.
I'm not a mortgage agent. This is not financing advice,
Yeah.
but based on my knowledge, the bank will qualify you on 40% of your gross income. So your gross debt servicing has to be no more than 40% of your gross income that goes towards your mortgage payment, property taxes, and heat.
That doesn't factor in maintenance, repairs, all that stuff.
That doesn't factor in any of that. So
Utilities.
and utilities. Well, it factors in heat,
Yeah.
but either way, the other
Yeah.
utilities for sure. So let's assume that the bank thinks that they're safe underwriting that policy with a stress test, of course. I think that that's significantly high because factor in taxes. We haven't factored in taxes yet. And when you factor in taxes, I want to say that could go close to your 60, 65, probably even more, maybe. And then this is why Canadian household debt is at record levels. We have the highest household debt in the world. That's why Canadians then have to resort to revolving credit for all their other monthly expenses, because no matter what, the mortgage has to get paid. You can't put your mortgage payment on your credit card. I mean, you could, there are probably people doing a cash advance right now because things are just really tough right now, right? I think that answers the question as to what the bank thinks. I personally think that number should be more closer to 30%. 30% of your take home, because then you have a sufficient amount to actually put towards saving and investing. Imagine if 65% of your income is going towards your household, then what about the rest of your other expenses, gas, food, insurance? And then you've got nothing left for savings, nothing left for investing.
And what if interest rates go up?
What if interest rates go up in the future? And then you look at, most people are pretty mobile, like our job force and our economy. Long gone are the days where you're at 30 years at the same employer, you have a secure pension plan. Like in the past, at least when you got a good job with a good company, retirement was planned for you. They were matching your contributions, they were setting up your pension plan. Even if you were a regular T4 employee, you had a plan. But now you might be a T4 employee for a bit. You're going to jump jobs to try to get a salary jump. And then you're over leveraged on your housing commitment. You don't have any savings plan. You don't have any investment plan. Mind you, I know we're still young, but at some point you're going to have to think about retirement, right? So unfortunately, I don't think committing yourself up to 65% leaves you with any room to be able to plan.